My name is Miguel. Miguel. I'm Mexican. My first language is English, I've lived in Mexico, New Jersey, Nigeria, Paraguay, Belize, and Guatemala. And all the countries are very similar and very different in their own little ways. So, I am an artist, quote unquote. I am also a movie buff. Ever since I was a kid, I started watching movies. I know you're all like saying, so did I, but I paid attention. And so like, been really a fan of them. In Nigeria we had like this Dutch, or I think it would be more correct to say this European lady who, I don't know, who like had this video store, and we rented from her all the time, and she would like have these Japanese movies, these European movies, these American 80s flicks, classics, you know, shit like Robo Ninja. Shit was good, man, you know. It was shit nobody's seen, you know, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. The stuff the kids nowadays don't remember, they don't know, they'll never know unless. But it's good stuff. You know, I don't know if anyone knows about it, you know. I know that there's like a spiritual war going on, and like a political war, and a food crisis, and weather crisis. I know all this shit. I'm well aware. Not very well aware. Well aware. Not very well. Well. Either way, it's like, there's also a movie crisis going on. I don't know if anyone sees it going on. It's like, and nobody knows, but it happened in the 50s and the 1960s too, you know. It's like movies, like independent directors just started like taking, you know, Hollywood's productions home to go do on their own for free and shit, you know. They started doing badass, crappy ass movies with low budgets. It would go into big theaters. Just, you know, fresh new actors that never acted before. Just crap. And either way, you know, it's like, you know, a lot of people have opinions about bad movies and shit, but, you know, this is like everyone's, you know, conjunction put together. And it's like, I think there's this documentary called The 50 Worst Movies Ever Made, and most of them are from the 1960s, and this was like the age where, you know, this shit was happening, and it's happening again, you know. Like, let's talk about Scorsese for a second, you know. It's like, let's talk about the Oscars for a second. Last Oscar movie that won an Oscar sucked, and I don't know what it was, because I didn't watch the Oscars, because it's been getting crappier every year, and it's just shit. It's just big movie productions. It's like, you know, and it's not even the movie that's made the most money yet. It's just the movie that's, you know, the Oscars is part of the advertising for people to go watch the movie, and it'll make that much money, you know. If it's first place, you know, they want it to make the most. But it's not. It's just the movie that's, if you have the movie that you've spent the most money on in Hollywood, then you'll be in the Academy Awards. But it's just a bunch of shit. It's like, let's talk about Scorsese for a second. It's like, he used to be a good director. Well, used to. He made The Departed. That was really good. It was really great. It's just that, you know, Leo, he's good. He's just a baby face. He just looks like he hasn't aged over a day of 5, you know. It's like when he was like 8 years old, they had plastic surgery completely attached, and he never just grew a day older than that. You know, he has no facial expression. You know, I hate that about that. He looks young because he's got nothing on his face. Just fuck it. And, you know, women like that, but I think it's just bad for acting because it shows nothing. So, you know, things like The Godfather and Casino, you know, live on forever. You know, those are beautiful masterpieces. But, like, I have to say, Gangs of New York, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was actually history or him trying to blend history into these two characters. It was like boring. I don't know. But it attracted the audience. Not to mention, it's like Cameron Diaz sucked. She did a good part when she was getting beat down, in the riot. And I loved her in that part. But this is like every other part. She's a bad actress in general. But like people went to watch it, and that's what Leo did. And so like Scorsese got fixed on Leo. He's like, I'm gonna keep using him. And then he did The Aviator. And The Aviator, a movie I've fucking never heard of until like after. I'm speaking right now. I'm living in Guatemala. Like, as the Oscars came out, it's like, oh, the Aviator won the Oscars. Like, what the fuck? I never even heard of this movie. It's like, and then the advertising that of course comes. It was out in the States, but the advertising 3 months, 4 months later, it comes out in Guatemala. I'm around the world, and people say we don't give a fuck about you, but it just shows how much like advertising he put into like the United States and nowhere else. Where like it's the truth. Like some movies sell themselves. You don't have to like make advertising for them, and people don't want to admit it, but like the Blair Witch was like, it just sold itself. Everyone went to watch it. They made fun of it. They won't admit that they like saw some kids acting, like acting, and they're the ones who sold it. The ones who made fun of it. Publicity's publicity. But like, fuck, it's like I went to watch The Aviator and it was good, but it's like fucking Leo can't play an old man like that Howard Hughes was aging. You take a picture of Howard Hughes and then you look at Leonardo DiCaprio, you're like, it's bad choice of casting. I mean, he did good acting, but he doesn't look old. I mean, what the fuck? I'm looking at a guy wearing a mustache, It's like a bad theater play. I don't know, it's like, I'm not talking about that as the movie crisis. That's part of the movie crisis. The movie crisis right now is more in horror movies and all the shit they're coming out with right now. So I want my manifesto to be like, I want to like review movies and documentaries online that I get to see online, even if they're bootleg or not, I don't mind. The fact that they're bootleg, makes it more movie experience while I'm at my house with all the interruptions and people talking, It's like, why would you actually want to go to the movies if you're just going to be around a bunch of people, like, making out and, well, I smoke weed there, but it's like, it's not the point. The point is I want to review movies in a way that it's to the home viewer, not to like all the people who go out to the movie theaters. I'm not that kind of reviewer, and these reviews will be on a bunch of movies you never heard of, a bunch of documentaries you should probably watch, and I just want to make sure and then establish a bit of the truth, like which movie's good, which movie's working for which company to advertise you, which propaganda. Well, you live two lives. You live your life, and you live your life of propaganda that they feed you. I'm smoking cigarettes, I won't tell you which brand, but that's my propaganda life. Alright, cool. So that'll be done.